government was searching for some type of missing or maybe rogue weapon of mass destruction, right? Like trying to scan for something. Because what I'm noticing is this: all of the turmoil is causing here in Jersey, with mayors speaking out and even some Congress people speaking out, the federal government authorities don't seem to be very concerned, man.
Even the upcoming president said that they know what's going on. They just don't want to say it.
All the latest news in New Jersey as it pertains to the drone sightings is either mystery solved or still unknown. No one knows what these things are and what is happening. And I think we all have heard our share, especially if you live in New Jersey or even some of the surrounding states, because I know this has been taking place as far down as Virginia and as far north up until like the Massachusetts, Maine area, but to a lesser degree. So me and Jose, we are back again in the Garden State Take, taking on the topic of attack of the drones. So we're going to dive into that right now. Welcome to New Jersey Living, the podcast, where we explore all things New Jersey real estate. I'm your host, Corey Jones, a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker and the team leader of the New Jersey Living Group. We're a team of experienced agents who specialize in residential sales in several counties ranging from Bergen County in northern New Jersey to Ocean County down the shore. On this podcast, we will talk to real estate experts, local business owners, community leaders, and town officials to get the inside scoop various towns in New Jersey. We'll discuss everything from the latest market trends to featured local attractions with dining, recreation, and entertainment. Whether you're a current resident, a prospective buyer, or just curious about New Jersey real estate, we have something for you. So sit back, relax, and join us for a conversation about all things New Jersey Living. Welcome to New Jersey Living. This is the podcast which we go by the Garden State Take, and we take on a lot of topics obviously pertaining to real estate, but in general, anything that's relevant to New Jersey, we are going to take that on this podcast. So I'm going to welcome back my friend and colleague, Jose Rodriguez from the Coldwell Banker Wayne office. Jose, thanks for joining us again, man.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be back and discuss this mystery that's going on in New Jersey.
Yes, mystery indeed. So those who live in New Jersey, you already know. If you live outside of New Jersey, you've heard this on the national news, right? This has been national. So it's one thing to watch New Jersey news and get things locally, but when you see on the nightly news, right, on whatever network, this has been playing out, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, question, Corey, have you come across any experiences on your end, or have you seen anything?
Here is what I find interesting. There have been some maps. I'm gonna see if we can get one to flash up for those who are viewing. There has been a map presenting where all the sightings, or the majority of the sightings, are here in New Jersey. They have not been heavily in the county where I live, in Union County. So Union County and Middlesex County have not had the majority of these sightings. Most of them have been north, like Bergen, Passaic, Morris, I believe. So I'm not even sure if Monmouth, but Hunterdon, right? So some of these counties that are far north, west, and then a little further south of the city. Essex County is somewhat, but not a lot, right? So nothing around Newark, like the airports, things like that, right? So there's like this really kind of central section of New Jersey, north central-ish, but has not had the volume of the sightings, right? So I have not. How about you on your end?
Yeah, no. So actually, and listen, I've been looking into this for the last couple of weeks, and my brother-in-law actually had called me I believe it was like last Wednesday. He's like, he never calls. When he calls, it's because something's up. So he's like, Jose, man, go look outside. And I was like, what's happening? He's like, dude, there's like 50 drones by my house. And I'm like,
he's at 50?
50. I'm like, 50? I'm like, oh, man. So I go outside. Corey, he probably lives like 5 minutes away from me in Wayne. And sure enough, there was a bunch of sightings of a bunch of different things. I was like, I can't say that all 50 were drones, because I don't think that's even possible, but who knows, right? There were definitely a mixture of drones. There were obviously airplanes. There were other things in the sky that looked like stars or whatever.
Because obviously it was night, right? It was a night sky.
Yeah, it was nighttime, right? So you see, but it was lit up. It was lit up, man, and it was lit up for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And then it looked different, right?
Right.
So, and these things were not, they were not small. They were not like your typical, obviously we're in real estate. We're used to the drones that we use, or our photographers use to take like drone videos of the tornado. These were things that were larger. They were definitely, um, I don't know, man. It looked like more high tech. Let's just put it that. Yeah. So yeah, man. So it was one of those things that me actually seeing it with my own eyes. I'm like, and I typically don't believe in stuff like that, but this is one of those things that now I'm like, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, wait, what is that? But you have the drone situation, right? But at the same time, you also have what the government has been calling lately UAPs, unidentified flying objects, right? So now that's a whole nother topic that we can potentially get into, but and perhaps maybe we'll talk about it here, but what is it? Is it that the government is actually trying to figure out what those things are? There's a lot of theories out there that are surrounding this topic, but it's interesting. So my question is like, why New Jersey, right? As most people are probably wondering why, right?
Right.
So
Right.
interesting to find out why.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and that was, I had a recent, episode, on the topic of the UAPs, because we grew up on UFOs, unidentified flying objects. The UAPs is a newer acronym, and this one, unidentified aerial phenomena, right? So, and I think that's very much has to do with the proliferation of what we've seen or what we've experienced. And now, with whether it be airline pilots or airlines that have footage, or military disclosing footage of objects that are maneuvering and traveling at speeds and maneuvers that are just not possible for
Possible.
the current technologies that we have, right? So
Yeah.
we'll definitely
Yeah.
delve
Yeah.
into that as well.
Yeah.
But as a pertaining, I said, let in with, attack of the drones, just as a, a spinoff of that Star Wars episode of Attack of the Clones. But we have seen extensive activity over the night skies. It's been it's been regular, right? People are posting this on social media. You go to TikTok, you can find any number, right, of sightings of people flashing up, just like yourself. Went out, flashed up some things. But I came across something, and I've been trying to make out, all right, what's what. There was also, I know you might have heard this, but there was like a theory or a rumor that the government was searching for some type of missing or maybe rogue weapon of mass destruction, right? Like trying to
Right.
scan for something. But there's been, why would they only do that at night, and why would we not see other vehicles, like government vehicles or what have you? But that's just been rumor. But here's what I found interesting. I think this is, in my opinion, this is my take on this. I see all of this activity as a, I'm not even gonna use the word sign, because I'm not trying to, make this all, super mysterious and what have you in that realm. But I see this as basically turning of the page to a newer technology that we've yet to see. Right. So, and
Right.
and
Right.
and saying that, I'm thinking back to how technology has changed from the time my father was a kid until now. I have raised my own kids. My kids are young adults now, right? My dad grew up in a, my dad was born in late 40s, just after World War II. He's a baby boomer, grew up on a farm with no running water, no indoor plumbing, right? Which now in our standard in the United States, that's like, no indoor plumbing, that's a foreign thing to us. But from that to me then being as a teenager having computers in the classroom, right? So you think about that. Think about the jump, right,
Yeah. Yeah.
of technology from right around World War II, and we know that a lot of technology just come from the government and the military. So there's like this advancement, and just listening to some, you listen to some stories of the older generation. Like my wife would ask her grandmother when she's still alive, what was the greatest technology um, invention that impacted your life?
Right.
And what she told us, it was very interesting. She said the refrigerator, right?
Oh, wow.
Because
Okay.
she grew up, she was born probably late 19 teens, maybe 1918, 1917, something around that time frame.
Yeah.
All right. And
Okay.
in New York City, in Harlem. Okay. So she's in a very populated, developed area of the United States. And bro, there's no refrigerators. The term ice box was because that's what it was. It was a box where you had an ice delivery person come and deliver ice, right?
Boy.
And that ice was cut, and they even have some places in North Jersey even where there were lakes where ice was cut into blocks and then stored in caves, right? Or in other insulated, shaded areas where it could be delivered later during the year outside of winter, okay? So she's saying when refrigeration came around, it was like it was a total game changer in life, right? And what you could do with food and keep food and what have you. All right. Now you fast
Or
forward.
does you see the new refrigerators?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. Yeah, everything, right? It's telling you weather, it's telling you what's in there, right? It has your calendar, it has everything, right? It's basically a computer now. But you think to us, for us, me growing, I was born early 70s. So by the time I'm in my early 20s, there's computers, there's the beginning of the internet. And again, these are things that our military have been well aware of, utilizing, researching, developing well before it hits the general public, right? So where I'm going with this whole drone activity is there are two technologies that I believe likely factor into what we're seeing in the night skies. On one hand, we already know that drones are being used extensively. We use it in business, right? Every listing that we have, even my YouTube episodes, I have a videographer there with me. We're doing video, right? But you and I know those drones are the size of a dinner plate. Okay. What we're seeing, to your point, what we're seeing in the skies is much bigger than a dinner plate. We're talking about, small vehicle size drones. Okay. So we have two technology. We have drone technology. We also have AI. AI is speeding up the pace in which technology is developing far faster than what we could even imagine. So I came across this that kind of made me go down this road of thinking about these two technologies and what we may be at the beginning of experiencing, what we may be walking into the beginning phase of seeing what life looks like in another, maybe not even 10 years, man, maybe another 5. And that it's there were two, and I've got to give credit, man. This guy, I didn't even know who he was, but I saw him on TikTok. Guy's name is Alex Hollings, and his YouTube channel, I want to say is his. He's on that YouTube. It could be his, I'm not sure, but Sandbox. Okay. So he threw out this theory about NASA's involvement, Air Force involvement, which, both of them deny or have any acknowledgement of being involved in this Jersey drone situation. But what that did bring up is we have the Department of Defense has what's called the U.S. Transportation Command. It regulates all this air activity. I guess it just in part researches, develops, and monitors air activity. Right? You can I looked up the website. It's got information on it. So with the drones and with the development of AI and what these departments at least monitor and research is the ability to deliver and transport through aerial travel that is like unmanned. So when you think about that, man, I think about, and I said this in my episode that I covered on this topic earlier, Uber introduced this idea, and I first saw it maybe a year ago, about the potential of drone Ubers that will fly you from one place to another. All right. Imagine yourself stepping into not even a car, but like a pod of some kind that has propellers. And now you can't really trust an individual to fly something like that, right?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
Especially in this area. But then you think about it. Okay, what if what's happening right now is maybe a collaboration or a mix of government agencies and corporate entities that are starting to say, hey, look, let's start to map out and look at how we can plan, regulate, or create a system of air travel where you can either transport, whether it be individuals or materials or what have you, because you even hear about, maybe Amazon's going to start delivering by drone.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
I heard that too.
I see that coming in the next 5 years.
Oh, no, definitely. But see, here's the thing too. It's not like driving a car where you just get a license and I mean, would you really trust the general public in flying around in the air?
Absolutely not.
Right. So
Absolutely not.
if it's going to happen, one, with the development of AI most certainly would have the capability of creating routes that can fly, right? It being specific routes, what altitude, what kind of wind conditions, and all these other things you have to factor in for flight. What if we get to a place where we now are going to begin, and we won't be at the place of the Jetsons per se, but we start transporting people and materials by air? How could that be done safely, efficiently, effectively? Right? Because what I'm noticing
Yeah.
is this: all of the turmoil is causing here in Jersey, with mayors speaking out and even some Congress people speaking out. The federal government authorities don't seem to be very concerned, man.
Oh, they're not. They're not.
I don't
Not
see
at
a
all.
whole lot of panic, right? Like,
There's no sense of urgency.
yeah,
They're just like, listen, just know that there's no threat, right? Because they
correct.
know something, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
even the upcoming president said that in a last interview a couple days ago. He said they know what's going on. They just don't want to say it. Man,
Right.
listen, you're also in a tough spot, right? Because what if you do say, all right, maybe we are looking for something, or perhaps we are reverse engineering this new technology that came from somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Then now you start talking about, you're opening a whole can of worms stuff, like, okay, religions, and it gets very tricky, right? So
Right.
I understand their point of view as well, but man, listen, society right now, we have so much, so many other problems. The last thing we care about is like, if there's an alien, I'm like, listen, just bring him here. It is what it is. Let's tax them as well, and then it is what it is. Everybody can live happy. Yep.
Hey, look, and that takes us down that other road, because the reality is that there are, going back to this UAB topic, and this is something that the military has come out, and they had the whole congressional hearings about this, is that there is an acknowledgement that there are objects in the air that are unexplained, that are in fact doing maneuvers that cannot be explained, that human beings don't have the technology to do, right? And that
Yeah.
goes to that orb topic, right? So stuff that you people are have even recorded in the sky. Now we are in an era of AI that can create just about anything in terms of visual, right? So
Right. Right.
you and I can make a duplicate of ourselves saying something totally outlandish, and it totally be created by AI. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that you have to question authenticity and what have
Hey
you.
man,
That
don't be giving the audience any ideas about this video. Saying stuff we're not really saying. You heard?
Yes, man. No, no, not at all, brother. And you're right on that. But yeah, so there are
No,
like,
you're right. No, you're totally right.
yeah. So is some of this intended as well to monitor what is in fact going? This has been around the world. This is not just New Jersey or United States. This is around the world, that these objects that have
Yeah.
been seen, what are they? And the scientists that are, you see more discussion now even about other dimensions, right? Interdimensional travel, things of that nature, which when we were kids, man, that was just a cartoon episode on Super Friends, right? League of Justice or whatever, like, an alternate dimension.
Yeah.
And now you hear scientists and astrophysicists talking about, the what three dimension is, as we all know and live in, compared to what the fourth dimension would look like, right? So it's, that stuff fries my brain. But again, if you have AI able to do advanced calculations in the blink of a second, what else is out there, right, that we don't know about? And we're at the, we're at the door, right? We're at the threshold of seeing something that we have a society, as a civilization, have never seen before, right?
Exactly. I mean, listen, and I think that's part of the reason why the government may be slowly, you know, doing that transition, right? Like, okay, well, you guys are seeing it, right? Everybody has a phone. So it's almost like you can't even hide it anymore, right?
Right.
So so it's one of those things that, I mean, listen, the other day in ABC News, she she caught an orb while she was filming the news live. And this is unexplainable. You can't really, I mean, do we trust the mainstream media? I mean, for the most part, mainstream media have actually done quite the opposite. They have obstructed it. They've been wanting to hide it. Now that they're like, you know what? Maybe we should just start showing what is really out there, right? So it's like now the public is becoming more aware of what's in the skies. And yeah, man, it's just going to be really interesting to see what the new administration take on is. It almost seems as the new upcoming president is more on some, let's just tell everybody at this point, right? You could tell it, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. So it's again, it's a very interesting topic, to say the least, because it is drawing so much media attention. I don't care if you're on TikTok, if you're just watching regular news, cable news, wherever you may get your news from, you are seeing this topic put out there. And our government does not have a big, like you said, urgency, concern, because they 100% they know what it is. It's just a matter of they are choosing not to disclose it to the public, and even governors and mayors, right, are not being made privy to what this is. So, because they're expressing frustrations all the time, because citizens are like, "Hey, look, what's going on?" This is kind of creating this sense of, I wouldn't say all out panic, but definitely people are not comfortable, right? So,
Yeah, but that also raises a question. So who's really in power, right? Is it the government? Is it the U.S. Air Force? Is it NASA? Is it like who holds the key to all these questions that even governors have, right? Even presidents have. Like, who actually knows, right? So it's almost like you have a group of private corporate entities that know what's going on for years, right? I saw that there was a crash, a UFO crash in the 70s, and then they took the ship. They basically reverse engineered a lot of the technology that we have now, right? Apparently, that's where everything came from. So there's just, I mean, listen, man, there's a lot of unknowns.
a lot
But
of
I
unknowns.
feel like in the path that we're going, that they're gonna start releasing more stuff and more stuff. And like I said before, man, I think at this point, the public already almost is coming to the conclusion that there is something out there, and that we're just gonna have to learn to live with it, right? So,
Right.
and why not?
Yeah, well, look, there are absolutely technologies that have really come out of the blue. Just think about this, man. Just think 100, something as short as 100 years ago. We go back to 1924 rather than 2024. How much technology we use daily just to survive did not exist, right? And that something as simple as a microwave.
And now we're on a Zoom. You're over there, I'm over here sporting, and something like this is almost
Yes.
like wasn't imaginable back then. To my grandparents, they're like, well, what is FaceTime? What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Right.
Right?
Right. No,
So
absolutely, absolutely. So, here we are. We will, perhaps a year from now, Jose, we'll record another episode that will tell the whole story on this. Right. So,
exactly.
yes,
Exactly.
yes, because these things are, in terms of technology and how quickly it materializes, it is moving faster and faster, in our society. So you heard my take on it. Again, I this is a forum for everybody to be able to participate. Drop some comments here. If you have some thoughts out in the listening audience right here on whatever podcast platform that you're listening on. If you're watching on YouTube, again, drop some of your commentary. If you've seen some things, definitely do share your take and what your experience was with it. But again, my take is that we are going to start seeing more things over the coming years because of what is probably being developed right now that's just kept a little bit undercover. Right. So just getting whatever final thoughts you have, Jose, before we close this out.
yeah, no, listen, man, I'm with you on that. I think my take on it is we're definitely not alone. I'm at this point is one of those things. Okay, it's there, and let's just listen. Let's embrace it. Let's just see how we can, I don't know, perhaps coexist together, and just see what we can create from it. Right? Let let's revolutionize the technology now, and let's just do things that we've been always we've learned to watch them on TV and stuff, but I feel like this transition, it's gonna happen sooner rather than later, right? So we might as well just let's just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, hey, look, there is always demand for real estate right here in New Jersey. So whatever dimension you may be from, you know, you can look up Jose. All right. You can look up me on Coldwell Banker's links right through this link as well. So yeah, man, Jose, want to thank you, man, for joining once again. We'll have more of these coming
Of course.
in the near future. This will probably be our final recording actually in the calendar year of 2024. So yeah, just wishing you and your family, man, a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Merry New Year, and all that comes with that, man.
Looking forward to 2025 and hope the audience has a happy new year as well. And let's crush it next year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for those out there, if you need to get in touch with me here at New Jersey Living, we're going to flash up really quickly a couple codes. Whether you're on the buy side, we have two for you. And that is one for relocation. You're coming into this area outside of New Jersey, New York general area. And the other is for just general insights on the buying process. So those two are available to you. Homeowners, we have two for you. One of them, if you're interested in entertaining or just curious about what a cash offer would look like on your property. And the other is just getting a valuation, no obligations whatsoever, just getting an idea of where your property stands right now in terms of its value on the market, because you really need to know. So those are there for you. Reach out to me, Jose. We've done collaborations. We're going to do a whole lot more collaboration in the coming year. So we're looking forward to providing our expertise and insights to serve you and whatever your real estate needs may be. So thanks again for joining us, and stay safe. Happy New Year once again, and stay tuned to New Jersey Living.